The text from my best friend Vanessa came through just as I was pulling into the parking garage for my job interview at Nexus Technologies. Your aunt is here. She's claiming to be you. I slammed on the brakes so hard my coffee splattered across the dashboard. My Aunt Patricia was at my job interview. The interview I'd spent 3 months preparing for. The one at the company recently named one of the most innovative startups of the year. My phone rang immediately. Vanessa worked reception at Nexus, which was how I'd learned about the opening for senior creative director in the first place. Sarah, I'm hiding in the bathroom, she whispered urgently. Your aunt walked in 15 minutes ago, showed your driver's license, and said she was here for the 10 a.m. interview. Security checked her in as Sarah Martinez. That's impossible. I have my license right here. I pulled out my wallet and my stomach dropped. My license was gone. Patricia had been at my apartment 2 days ago, supposedly to apologize for missing my birthday. She'd spilled wine on my jacket, insisted on helping clean up, and had been near my purse. Vanessa, I'm in the parking garage. I'm coming up right now. No. Wait. Mr. Castellanos isn't here yet. He's the CEO who's doing the final interview. If you come up now, security will think you're the impostor. Your aunt has your ID. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel, my mind racing. Patricia had always been jealous of any success in our family that wasn't hers. When I graduated with honors, she told people I hadn't earned it. When I'd won a design award, she claimed the idea was hers. But this was a new low. What's she doing now? I asked. She's in conference room A with the hiring panel. I can see her through the glass. Sarah, she's wearing the exact same outfit you posted on Instagram yesterday. The blue blazer, the portfolio case, everything. I felt sick. I posted about my interview outfit because I was excited and nervous, wanting encouragement from friends. Patricia had liked the post, commented with heart emojis and good luck, niece. Vanessa, you have to help me. This job, it's everything. I know, but, she gasped. Oh no, Mr. Castellanos just walked in. He's early. Through the phone, I heard the distant ding of elevator doors, the sound of confident footsteps, then Vanessa's sharp intake of breath. Sarah, he's going straight to conference room A. I have to go back to my desk. Just stay put. I'll text you. The line went dead. I sat in my car, watching the minutes tick by on the dashboard clock. 10:03, 10:07, 10:11. Then my phone buzzed with rapid texts from Vanessa. OMG, OMG, he knows. Your auntie is done. Get up here now. I ran to the elevator, my portfolio clutched in my sweaty hands. As the floors counted up, 5, 6, 7, I tried to prepare myself for whatever chaos I was about to walk into. The elevator opened on the 12th floor to a scene I'll never forget. The glass-walled conference room was lit up like a stage. Inside, Patricia sat rigid in a chair, her face pale. Across from her stood a man I recognized from countless business magazines, Lorenzo Castellanos, 32 years old, self-made billionaire, tech innovator. And surrounding Patricia were 2 security guards and several members of the legal department. But it was Lorenzo's face that stopped me cold. He was staring at Patricia with an expression of such controlled fury that even through the glass I could feel its weight. Vanessa grabbed my arm. He knew immediately. The second he walked in, he took one look at her and said, "You're not Sarah Martinez." She tried to argue, and he said, "Sarah Martinez has a scar on her left hand from when she punched through a window to help me when we were teenagers. You don't have that scar." I looked down at my left hand instinctively at the white line that ran from my knuckles to my wrist, a permanent reminder of one of the hardest nights of our lives. "He was your foster kid," Vanessa whispered. "Lorenzo?" I stared through the glass at the powerful CEO, trying to reconcile him with the scared 13-year-old I remembered. That's Enzo. 15 years ago, I'd been 18, working as a night aide at Riverside Group Home while putting myself through community college. Enzo had been placed there after his 5th failed foster home. Brilliant but guarded, angry but desperate for connection, he'd been labeled difficult by the system. I'd been the only staff member he talked to, probably because I was barely older than him and treated him like a person instead of a problem. We'd bonded over late-night talks about comic books, his coding skills, and our shared experience of growing up without real parents. The night his foster father had shown up drunk, Demanding Enzo return to access the continued foster care checks had been a nightmare. The man had broken into the group home, cornered Enzo in the library. I'd heard Enzo screaming and hadn't thought twice. I punched through the glass door when the lock jammed, grabbed a shard, and held it to the foster father's throat until police arrived. 27 stitches, permanent nerve damage in 2 fingers, and a commendation from the state. Enzo had held my bloody hand in the ambulance, promising he'd make something of himself, that my sacrifice wouldn't be wasted. I'd lost track of him when he'd aged out of the system. I'd heard rumors, full scholarship to MIT, dropping out to start a company, early investor in 3 unicorn startups. But Lorenzo Castellanos, CEO of Nexus Technologies, I'd never made the connection. He changed his last name. The conference room door flew open, and Lorenzo's voice carried across the floor. Call the police. Identity theft, fraud, and attempted corporate espionage. Patricia's shrill voice followed. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just helping my niece. She's too shy for interviews, so I... Stop. Lorenzo's voice was ice. You're on camera admitting you're not Sarah Martinez. You presented false identification. You signed legal documents under her name. That's felony identity theft. That's when he saw me. Time seemed to stop. His dark eyes, older now, harder, but still unmistakably Enzo's, locked onto mine. 1,000 emotions crossed his face in an instant: shock, recognition, something that looked like joy, then back to controlled professionalism. Sarah, he said simply. Patricia whipped around, her perfectly contoured face contorting with rage. You little bitch. This was supposed to be my chance. Do you know how hard it's been for me? You young people get all the opportunities while women my age are invisible. I deserve this. You deserve jail time, Lorenzo said coldly. He hadn't looked away from me. Security, hold her here until the police arrive. Legal team, I want charges pressed to the fullest extent. Then softer, to me, Sarah, could you come with me, please? I followed him to his office, my legs shaking. The space was massive, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, millions of dollars in modern art on the walls. But what caught my eye was a small framed photo on his desk. A group photo from Riverside Group Home. I was in it, 18 years old, standing next to a scrawny 13-year-old Enzo, my bandaged hand on his shoulder. You kept it, I said stupidly. It's the only photo I have from before, he said, sitting on the edge of his desk. Before everything changed. Before you change everything. Enzo. Lorenzo now. Lorenzo Castellanos. I took my mother's maiden name when I started the company. Enzo Kowalski was a foster kid with a juvie record. Lorenzo Castellanos could raise venture capital. You did it, I said, tears burning my eyes. You made something of yourself. You kept your promise. Because of you. He stood pacing to the window. Do you know what happened after that night, after you fought him off? I shook my head. The state finally terminated his parental rights. I got placed with an emergency foster family, the Castellanos. Good people. They saw my coding skills, got me into a computer program. I got into MIT, started my first company in my dorm room. He turned back to me. Every line of code I wrote, I thought about you. About how you didn't hesitate. You saw a kid in trouble and you punched through glass to save him. Anyone would have. No, he said firmly. They wouldn't have. 23 staff members had worked at Riverside while I was there. You were the only one who ever really saw me. And today, he laughed, but it was bitter. Today I get to return the favor in the most bizarre way possible. About that, I said awkwardly. I swear I had no idea you were Lorenzo Castellanos. I applied for this job on merit. I'm not trying to trade on our past. Sarah. He held up his hand. I've had your portfolio for 3 months. It's brilliant, revolutionary, actually. Your approach to user experience design is exactly what Nexus needs. I was already planning to hire you before this. He gestured toward the conference room where Patricia was now being led away in handcuffs, reporters already gathering in the lobby. Vanessa was right, this was going viral. But now I have a problem, Lorenzo continued. If I hire you, people will say it's nepotism. That you got the job because of our history. My heart sank. Patricia had not only stolen my interview, she tainted any possibility of me getting this job. Unless, Lorenzo said, a smile playing at his lips, we make the history public. Control the narrative. Local woman who saved foster child's life 15 years ago reunites with him at job interview where her aunt tried to steal her identity. The media will eat it up. You want to publicize that you were in foster care? I've been thinking about it anyway. Too many kids in the system think they have no future. Maybe knowing the CEO of Nexus Technologies aged out of foster care will help some of them. He pulled out his phone. Plus, your aunt's mugshot is already trending on Twitter. #AuntFromHell is the #1 hashtag right now. I couldn't help but laugh. Then reality hit. She's still my family, my mom's sister. This is going to destroy family dinners. The family that tries to steal your identity and sabotage your career? Lorenzo raised an eyebrow. That family. He had a point. Can I see it? I asked. The mugshot? He showed me his phone. Patricia looked haggard, her carefully applied makeup smeared, her stolen blue blazer. My blazer that she must have ordered online, wrinkled. The comments were brutal but not undeserved. So Lorenzo said, setting down his phone. Sarah Martinez. Want to be my senior creative director? Final interview question. How would you redesign our user interface to increase accessibility for neurodivergent users? For the next hour, we talked design. Not as the traumatized foster kid and the group home aide who'd saved him, but as two professionals passionate about technology and innovation. I showed him my portfolio, my vision for inclusive design, my revolutionary approach to user experience. You're hired, he said when I finished. Pending background check, which I assume won't involve any identity theft charges. Just the one aunt with charges, I said dryly. As I signed my employment contract, my real contract with my real name, Lorenzo's assistant knocked on the door. Mr. Castellanos? The police want to know if Ms. Martinez wants to add any charges regarding the stolen identification. I thought about Patricia sitting in a cell, her Botox and fillers doing nothing to hide her ugly character. Identity theft and fraud are enough. But I want a restraining order. She comes near me or my job again, she goes back to jail. Done. That evening, the story hit every major news outlet. CEO recognizes childhood hero during identity theft interview scam. The photo they used was perfect, security footage of Lorenzo pointing at Patricia while she held my stolen ID, with me visible through the glass, holding my portfolio, the real Sarah Martinez watching my aunt destroy her own life. My phone rang nonstop. Reporters, family members, friends who recognized me in the viral video. My mother called, mortified and apologetic. Patricia called me from jail, she said weakly. She wants bail money. Don't you dare, I said. I won't. Sarah, I'm so sorry. I knew she was jealous of you, but this. She tried to steal my future mom, because she couldn't stand that I might succeed. The trial was swift. Patricia pled guilty to identity theft and fraud, receiving 2 years probation and 200 hours of community service. The judge also ordered her to pay restitution and undergo mental health counseling. Her mugshot became a meme when you try to steal your niece's job, but the CEO remembers when she saved his life. My first day at Nexus, Lorenzo called an all-hands meeting. 15 years ago, he began, a teenage girl punched through a glass door to save me from an abusive situation. She nearly lost the use of her hand protecting a foster kid everyone else had written off. That woman is our new senior creative director, Sarah Martinez. She's here not because of that history, but because she's brilliant. Her aunt tried to steal her identity to take this job, not knowing our connection. But I would have hired the real Sarah Martinez regardless. Her portfolio speaks for itself. The applause was thunderous. Later, in my new office, with a view almost as good as Lorenzo's, Vanessa brought me a coffee in a frame for my desk. What's this? I asked. Check Twitter, she said, grinning. I opened the app to find a photo Lorenzo had posted. Him and me in my new office, my scare hand visible as I held my Nexus ID badge. The caption. 15 years ago, at Sarah Martinez Design saved my life. Today, she's saving our user experience. Also, her aunt is in jail for trying to steal her identity. Karma works in mysterious ways. Hashtag second chances, hashtag foster kids succeed, hashtag aunt from hell. It had 2.3 million likes. Patricia wrote me from prison 6 months later, a rambling letter about how I'd ruined her life, how unfair it was that I had opportunities she never did. I threw it in the trash, unopened after the first paragraph. Some people never learn that jealousy and entitlement are poison. They only destroy the person carrying them. Meanwhile, I revolutionized Nexus's design philosophy, leading to a 40% increase in user engagement. Lorenzo and I became not just colleagues but true friends, bonding over late-night product launches and our shared understanding that your past doesn't determine your future, your choices do. And somewhere in all of that, the girl who punched through glass to save a scared kid became the woman whose designs would impact millions of users worldwide. All because my aunt tried to steal my identity and failed to realize that some things, like scars, history, and the recognition of someone whose life you saved, can't be faked. The universe, it turns out, has a sense of humor about justice, and sometimes the best revenge against someone who tries to steal your identity is simply being yourself, scars and all.